Hey, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from SethMarkwood.com.
Together, the three of us, we are Markwood Ben's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again. Good morning, boy.
Good morning, Homer.
How are you?
I'm great. You know, I say that I'm from SethMarkwood.com, and there's still not a website that exists there yet. But you know what I did just renew?
What?
MyWienerYourMouth.com.
Both
Spelled both ways. That's another $36 I'm not getting back this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Ugh. All for a joke. What are we smoking today?
What are we smoking today? CAO Black, I believe.
CAO Black.
Very good. Good choice. So,
also from Po' Boy Jelly.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
He said a lot.
He did. I think at this point we will be alternating between his tobaccos and one sent by somebody else. So
Okay.
well, I think we're down to, after this we have 4 left. We have 2 more from Po' Boy Jelly. We have 1 more from Chris and Maria, and we have 1 from Alan.
Well, okay.
So
let's continue, and while you get your pipe ready to go, I'm going to share something, and then I'll get my pipe ready to go.
sounds great.
So about 2 months ago, seems like everything I'm sharing is stuff that happened months and months, if not years ago. But there's something I've been wanting to share with you, and something I've wanted you to see. And that smells awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
That smells great.
Yeah.
Oh, love a good room note. So we got word that Cigar was shutting down their pipe selection, pipe tobacco, pipes, and so on. And so I drove over there to see.
It'd be a fun name for a business. Pipes and so on.
Yeah. So went over there to see what they had, and picked up what I thought I needed, which really wasn't much of anything. And I asked them at the time what they were going to do with their tobacco jars, because they had these, I don't know what they are, 1-2 gallon glass jars, and they said, well, you'll need to talk to our manager, and she's not in right now. So the next morning I called over and spoke to their manager, and I pled my case, and I told her that I have smoked a lot of Brendan's Choice. For those of you who think that I only smoke Lane 1Q, I've smoked a lot of Brendan's Choice from JR's. And so I said, you know, I would love to have the jar. If you're going to sell them or get rid of them, I'd love to have the Brendan's Choice jar. And then I mentioned that we had a YouTube channel, and our plan someday will be to create a bit of a studio, a salon, if you will, where we would display things. And one of the things I'd love to have is the Brendan's Choice jar. And she said, I think we can make that happen. So, here it is. Okay, so I have the actual official Brendan's Choice jar, but I want you to notice what it says above Brendan's Choice. That's right, I identified years before they had to admit it that Brendan's Choice was Lane 1Q. And when I stopped in to pick this thing up, I asked the gal, I said, I'm Scott Markwood, I called ahead about this. And she goes, oh yeah, I have Steve's in the back cleaning that out. And my heart dropped, because I imagined that he was going to bring this beautiful, shiny, clean, no label jar out. But no, it still has the felt bottom on it. It still has the label. It still has just enough residue on the lid. And I asked her then, I said, so what do I owe you? Now this jar right here, if you bought it on Amazon today, would probably cost you close to $20. It is, I think it's Anchor Hawking makes this still in the U.S.
Okay.
Any idea what she charged me for this bad boy, this piece of history?
$12.
And by the way, the people that were there working were a little pissed off, because they didn't realize that these things were up for grabs, and who knows, they may have wanted this exact jar for themselves. No, here I got
Brendan.
I got the receipt.
Oh my gosh.
She charged me $5.
Wow.
$5 for this jar.
And you only bought the one?
Yeah, because I didn't want to be greedy. And again, I could tell, I read the room that, and I just needed one, right? I mean, I have two 5-gallon jars here that we don't need to have 10 2-gallon jars.
I do think that we should load it up with some.
You know what? Let's do.
With
All right,
some
so
Brendan's Choice.
We'll pour some Brendan's Choice in here. Thing is, this is not airtight where that's airtight.
Well,
But
we don't have to load it up. It's good
Smells
enough. Good enough for Brendan. It's good enough for me. Man had good taste.
yeah, so we've been tossing some cigars in here because this has been our humidor as well. But there we go, Brendan's Choice.
Nice.
Beautiful. Sorry.
You good?
There we go.
Piece of history.
Yep. I would love to know how many pounds of Brendan's Choice has been sold through that jar. I'd love to know how many pounds I've purchased from that jar. All right, so let's light something up here. You know what? As good as that smells, I am going to smoke my old Cobb Wasp.
Okay.
This is an original, handmade by Chris Morgan Cobb Wasp. Notice it has his actual signet
Stamp
on the
on it,
bottom.
yeah.
This was not one of the ones that was manufactured by Missouri Meerschaum. This was a gift from Chris himself. Thank you, Chris. So one of the things I thought would be interesting to do today, if you watched the Aristocob channel a couple weeks ago, I posted a video, kind of a video response to something that Northern Bohemian suggested, and that was that since there's been enough of a turnover in the YouTube pipe community, the YTPC, that maybe it was time for us to reintroduce ourselves. Thought that was a good idea. And so I did that video response on my channel, and I thought, you know what? I think that we need to have Boy answer those questions. And so I'm going to ask you the questions, and we'll get to know you a little better.
All right.
All right, so here we go.
You know, if it's a little interesting, feels a little bit silly, only because Northern Bohemian and us are among a relatively smaller group who have had pretty consistent video output since then.
Well, John has come and gone a couple times, so he was part of the exodus that went over to Vimeo for a while.
I know, yeah.
Then he abandoned YouTube because he was frustrated by, the fact that that first generation of YTPC members had left.
Right.
And there was a very high level of production in those videos. I mean, these guys, there were costumes, there were scripts, there were performances. I mean, it was really a different time because none of this had ever been done before, and I think we were emulating television.
You know who? Yeah. Now that you say that, there's a channel that reminds me, and in recent videos in particular, has a feel of some of those videos. Not on the production quality side, but as far as just someone putting in a lot of work, and I can't remember his name now.
I know who you're talking about.
In the dungeon, yeah, with the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Crap. I'm sorry.
I'm going to find it.
We'll link it below.
Shame on us because yes, I like his videos too. He's only been around for, let's say, 6 months.
Did a video response.
But great content, and we both enjoyed it, and would encourage you guys to jump on board his channel. Let me find it here real quick. You talk.
I just noticed.
There it is. Over a Pipe.
That's right.
Over a Pipe is the channel name.
If you go back in some of the older videos, I commented on a few because he did one in response to receiving a Tobacco Advent mug. Looks like he's done some renovation on his filming space. Has some nerdy stuff behind, which I love, of course. But then is using a whiteboard and is seems to be putting a lot of thought into what to talk about. And I think he has. One thing I saw recently was a monthly tobacco type to smoke through.
Yes, isn't that smart?
Yeah.
When I saw that, I thought, dang it, why didn't we do that? But because of the way we record, it would be impossible for us to do. But yeah, what he's done is he wants to smoke his way through all the variety of tobacco types, and to be consistent in it, he's setting aside a month for each of them. The month of May is going to be my month, where he'll be smoking Cavendishes.
Yeah.
But that's smart.
Yeah, it's really smart.
But I agree with you.
Yeah. Which I think answers question number 1, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right. So let's go.
Agree.
Let's go to the questions. But I would encourage you to, if you've got a YouTube channel, to do this video response as well. So first question is, where do you live?
North Carolina.
Okay. You want to give any more to that?
America. United States of.
All right.
Comma.
How long have you smoked a pipe?
Oh. As an amateur or professionally?
When did you get your first pipe?
Probably when I was 18. I remember smoking a cigar first. Actually, I remember smoking Swisher Sweets first, fake cigars. And then I remember being very frustrated with a pipe. We probably went camping, or you tried to teach me how to do it. I probably didn't listen. And I remember being very frustrating, in particular in comparison to smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Not being able to keep it lit, not being able to smoke it well. And so probably the first time that I actually spent time trying to smoke a pipe with any sort of patience was honestly probably when we went to Nashville for that first pipe show we attended in Nashville. It probably wasn't. I probably didn't put much effort before that, because I remember even then I was still a cigar smoker.
Were we doing Marco Ben's Breakfast Club then?
No. Mm-mm. No, it was pre-Marco Ben's Breakfast Club, so it was probably 7 or maybe even 8 years ago now. When I was smoking
camp pipe presenter happened.
That's right. That's right. I was I smoked cigars until about the point that I got married. Pretty much stopped that completely because my wife didn't care for it, and then would switch to vapes, would switch to e-cigs, and did that for a while off and on. And then around that time, I remember distinctly that for those couple of days, I was known to many of the people there because they followed your channel and they knew me as Boy. Lots of people introduced themselves to me as Boy, or said, "Hey, Boy." Hey, it's fine. Then they would apologize for not knowing my name. It's fine. And so that weekend was probably one of the times that I spent the most focused attention trying to smoke a pipe.
And that was
not just giving up.
When Tade and Mike Miller pulled you aside and stocked you up on more tobacco than I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how much
tobacco
they brought with them to share?
Yeah, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything really about tobacco at that point. I still don't know much. I'm sure I had a pipe or two. I'd had a Dr. Graybo for some time before that. I think before you were ever selling corncob pipes. That was probably my first pipe. Yeah, I mean, even at that point, even there with all of the people there, I've talked about this before. As a young, new pipe smoker, it still felt like way too much work, and it felt embarrassing that I wasn't very good. wasn't good at keeping it lit, packing, all of the steps. It was just fumbling through around people that could pack a pipe, light it, and seem to smoke forever, compared to just snipping the end of a cigar and off you go. So I remember that. But it was on that trip, or not long after that trip, that we talked about. It was that And then also Rhett and Link coming out with Good Mythical Morning around that same time, probably a little bit before that trip, because you talked about how much fun it would be to do a show.
We talked about that on our trip to, was it Ohio or was it Williamsburg? The trip to Ohio, I think, where we talked about doing that. Anyway, so how many pipes are in your collection?
I don't know, a lot. Probably.
Are most of them here? You got a pretty good selection.
I'd say half to 2/3 of them are here. I mean, all told, probably 30. But how many do I smoke with any sort of regularity? 4. The ones that I keep here. I love the Rusticob. The Devil Ants is just small enough that it sits on the table. I've got Corncob Nation. This one, which was really just a leftover from Christmas.
It's a great pipe, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
a Cobbsy.
It is. I have a box over here with various predominantly corncob pipes. As far as non-corncob pipes, I think I have like 5. I've got the log.
The big Christmas lumberjack.
Yeah, the lumberjack. I've got a Savinelli 320. What's that?
Savinelli 320.
Savinelli 320. A bone pipe. I've got a
Chris Morgan.
Yeah, I've got a
Briar Cigar from Chris Morgan.
I have a Briar Cigar. I also have the Dagner.
Oh, the Christmas one.
The Christmas Dagner pipe.
That's right.
But that's probably the extent of it beyond Cobb's. My go-to, the ones that I have at home in my pipe bag, or when I travel, I'm almost always taking one of this style. What is this?
That's a Diplomat Apple.
Yeah. No.
Country Gentleman.
Yeah, Country Gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost always taking a Country Gentleman with me, or I like the size and the shape of the Dagner Cobbs. And
the Country the Morgan nose warmer was also a go-to.
The Morgan nose warmer was one of the first pipes that I smoked with any kind of consistency. It was in part because pretty soon after we started the channel, we went straight into Tobacco Advent, and so that's all we smoked during the first 4 or 5 years of Tobacco Advent was the nose warmers, and they were perfect for a quick 15-minute smoke session. And I have said many times, with the exception of camping and maybe the occasional business trip, I almost exclusively smoke my pipe here. If we have a campfire at the house, I'll smoke my pipe. Or one of the business trips I attend, they usually have a cigar bar wide open for people, and so I'll take a pipe there to stand out a little bit. And then beyond those times, it's almost always here in front of the camera.
It's fun to peacock with a corncob, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it catches people's attention. The balance, though, and this was something that was brought to my mind, brought to my attention in Oklahoma City, is that around all of the cigar smokers, what I would like to smoke, something like the German tobacco or Lane 1Q, wouldn't fit that. No. But that's what anybody who isn't hanging out with the cigar smokers would want. And so the cigar smokers, really, you're not going to impress them in smoking a pipe. The people that will be caught off guard are the ones that aren't over there. And so there's a little bit of strategy involved with what you're going to smoke and where you're going to be when you're smoking it.
Yeah.
In those social events.
What's your favorite pipe?
Probably, I don't know. I like the Rusticob. I'm a big fan.
Again, that is an Apple Diplomat that is a Rusticob.
Right. But I think the other one I have is a Country Gentleman.
Yes.
As well. I like the Country Gentleman. This is bigger, slightly larger, right?
Shorter but fatter.
Yeah. I prefer the shape of the country gentleman, but that's the one that I have in my bag.
Okay. What are your favorite 2 or 3 tobaccos? Fruit Loopy German tobacco, number 6.
That's a good question.
It's a really good question.
Not 9 times out of 10, my favorite tobacco is the tobacco I'm smoking. I really do not have a sophisticated tobacco palate, and so it's whatever's available. There have been very few occasions where there's something that I just don't care for. Lots of times there are things that I enjoy on the very aromatic side, and things that are very strong English that I enjoy, and there's a very wide spectrum. Some of the ones that I have had as ones that stand out are some of the ones that are kind of rare. Wenceslas is one that I recall with fondness, but I don't know that I would say it's my favorite because I don't ever smoke it much.
You like Penzance?
Yep. The one that I have at home is what is that?
Is it a tin or is it a
No, it was a jar from Oklahoma City. It's another relatively rare tobacco, and it was aged as well. But I mean, my go-to always is German number 6. That's the one. This is the 110 that I keep in my bag, with usually something a little bit more English as well.
Guess what I learned today?
What's that?
My contact that spends a lot of time in Germany and brings back tins every time he goes. This is his last year. He's retiring. So between him, I'm going to have to pass the torch, or have him pass the torch to somebody to pick that tobacco up for me, because I won't go there enough to keep up.
You better send him with a 5-gallon jar next time.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
See if we can get it in bulk.
What prompted you to start making pipe videos? You already covered there.
Yeah, I mean,
Because you don't do a separate channel. You've had a separate channel, but not a pipe channel.
No. I have, no, I mean, legitimately, if not for this channel, if not for an excuse to get together with Homer, I would smoke a pipe maybe 5 times a year. And I certainly wouldn't have a channel dedicated to it. It's not that I don't enjoy it, it's just not a top thing that I enjoy. And, as I have said many times, because I still very much enjoy kissing my wife, it's not something that I will do more frequently than every now and again.
Okay. What percentage of pipe videos do you watch on your cell phone? And this is where I had to make a confession. See if your confession comes out the same. There's really 2 questions there.
0. Well, I take that back. Depending on how you're looking at the question. Okay? If you're looking at the question as what percentage of the pipe videos that you watch are watched on your cell phone, which is one way to hear the question, probably 50%.
What else do you watch them on?
Computer. I prefer 9 times out of 10 to watch YouTube videos on my computer, because
Laptop.
Yep. Because I have an incredible Google Chrome plugin that allows me to speed up a video by increments of 1/10 of a percentage point. And so I have grown very accustomed to watching almost 100% of my YouTube videos, and any news video and anything that's not a television show, in between 2 and 3 times fast forward speed. And so it's actually painful to watch it on YouTube on my phone a lot of time,
Well, you
And
have the ability to speed up.
It's terrible.
But it's not good.
What for whatever reason, YouTube's the way they built speed up into their app distorts the audio. It sounds like it's in an echo chamber. The app on my computer doesn't do that. And so it truly is just faster, and the ability to go by a tenth of a degree. I can go 1.7 times speed if 1.8 is too hard to listen to with the person's accent. And I've developed that correlates pretty closely to what I've talked about in the past about listening to podcasts. I listen to almost all my podcasts on 1.5 to 2 times speed, and almost all audiobooks, same 1.5 to 2 times speed for those, usually 2 times speed. And I've only just in the last month started tinkering with listening to and watching regular television shows in fast forward.
Oh, really?
So I did it on Top Chef. I was watching an episode of Top Chef and watched it in about 2 times speed, because there's nothing there that you will really miss that's critical to the plot. Today at lunch, I was watching a show, and I had 10 minutes left in the show and 8 minutes left on my lunch break. And so I sped it up so I could get to the end of the episode before my lunch break was over.
Were you watching the one from this last week where they were competing in the Coliseum?
I watched that. I was not watching
the
that.
basketball court?
Yeah, I was not watching that one in fast forward, but I watched that this week.
This season has been remarkably low in drama. They usually like to play up the drama and conflicts and things like that, and I've actually appreciated it because I want to see the competition, and I want to see the creativity and so on. I don't care about the interpersonal drama like you get on Survivor and stuff like that.
That's interesting you have that point of view, because I have always appreciated that about Top Chef. I think that of those types of shows, they have always steered away from the interpersonal drama a lot more than some of the other shows. Like,
No, I agree with that. But I'm just saying, what happened on the episode that we just caught was the first time, I think, this season where there was a hint of drama.
I don't know.
And it stands out.
The episode with Brother was really good.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of drama there.
Oh my god.
I remember.
That was sad.
Sorry for the diversion. I remember season 1, maybe even season 2 of Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
Was great because it was a competition show taking place in the kitchen. Now season 12 or whatever they're in, it is just a drama fest. The people that they get there can't even cook.
It's almost like the world's worst cook kind of a show.
It's
I don't
terrible.
know why they do that. Because it makes good television for somebody, I guess.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, that first season was neat because you had some professional chefs, you had some cooks.
Right.
Right now, it's just ridiculous.
All right, what else you got?
Well, okay, but I want you to answer the other half. The
other way of interpreting the question is how many pipe videos do you watch? And for me, the answer is almost 0. It's because it's not a top interest of mine. I don't watch the videos, and so really, legitimately, the only pipe videos I will watch are sometimes if he's talking about something interesting, or
wait, my videos.
Well, by your video,
or if I direct you to somebody.
No. Your videos. Usually it's your videos.
Watch my videos.
Well, because sometimes you'll give a life update or something, what's going on, and during a period of time that I haven't seen you in 2 or 3 weeks because of travel, and so that's the only way to get caught up. Like I started watching the video where you answered these questions, and I didn't make it to the first question before I turned it off. It just doesn't interest me.
My biggest fan.
It doesn't interest me. Very rare occasion, I will admit, because I'm not invested really in the community. I don't know, because I can't even tell you a favorite tobacco. It does not do anything for me to watch somebody talk about a tobacco, which is one of the reasons why our tobacco reviews are garbage, because we don't actually review the tobacco. It's usually, it's pretty good, or
let's smoke it again.
It's okay. Yeah, we got somebody commented that that's not helpful. We know. We have for the last 6 years said, if you want to watch somebody review tobacco, there are tons of people in the community that you should watch. Do that. They are so much better than us at doing that. They have thoughts and can taste the difference between tobaccos from one to the other. I just know, is it going to make me lightheaded? Is it going to be pleasant to smell? You know, what really basic stuff. And so I don't. Those aren't the videos that I find myself watching. The selfish, I'll be forthright, the egotistical part. Sometimes if someone's talking about us, I'll watch that just to see what they had to say. You know, honestly, that's how I landed on the video about the box opening, the Diablo for the mug, because it was, hey, Marco Men's Breakfast Club did this, and they posted a comment on our video. I do a lot of the moderation. I will reply to a lot of the comments, and so if there's something in the comment, I'm much more likely to see something in the comment of one of our videos than I am on someone else's video. Pretty terrible.
Just a point of housekeeping here. I rarely log into the Markwood Men's Breakfast Club account, except for to do annotation on the videos before they go live. And so usually if I'm commenting, I try to comment logged in as Aristocom. Every now and then I'll leave a comment and then realize, dang it, I'm in the Markwood Men's Breakfast Club account. I like it when you reply from there as opposed to me replying. I've noticed there's times where we both replied and it looks like we're schizophrenic or something.
Right. Yeah, almost.
I'm trying to say Scott here.
Almost all of the time that it's from Markwood Men's Breakfast Club, it's me, and I think I have moved away from it. I used to sign it as Seth, but I don't think I do that anymore now much. Sometimes, but
sometimes when I hit send,
if it's talking about nerd stuff, it's definitely from me.
Yeah, when I've caught myself and I've hit send, sometimes I'll edit it and add to it Scott here or something like that. What did you do?
Oh, well, I just cleaned it out because it was tight, and then that's what I just did. I just got a big old mouthful of ash. I'm done with that. I can't do that to myself again.
Okay. Other than pipe smoking videos, what do you enjoy watching? If I went through your watch history, what's the bulk of that going to be?
You will find some video game Let's Play style videos. Usually with whatever I'm playing or interested in playing at this moment. Right now it's Terraria. You will find usually Philip DeFranco is one I watch regularly. If Primitive Technology posts anything, I'm watching it within the first 30 minutes from upload. As soon as I see, that is the one and only channel of all of the channels I watch. That is the one and only channel that if a video is posted and I see a new video, I'm watching immediately. I'm dropping whatever I have to do. I don't understand it. I don't know why. It is so good. If you're not watching it, watch it. Primitive Technology. There are a lot of copycats. Primitive Technology is the name of the channel. It's the one and only. It's excellent.
What speed do you watch?
That one I usually watch in one-time speed as well.
Really?
Yeah, and little known fact, he annotates with captions. So if you are interested, for a long time, I watched the videos without captions on because I didn't know this was a thing. I just watched, and you can figure out from what's going on. He doesn't talk at all. You can figure out from what's going on generally what's happening. But he annotates and says, hey, this is a termite mound, and I'm doing this, and yada, yada, yada. It's excellent. Periodically, I still watch King of Random, Philip DeFranco show, some tech videos, occasional Unbox Therapy or Linus Tech Tips, and then I tend to enjoy the when Claire from Bon Appetit tries to make a gourmet version of something. I watched the gourmet version of the Ferrero Rocher today. It was excellent.
Man, the time that she worked on the Pringles.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Those are, and then of course, like everybody, I just wind up down the rabbit hole. But those are the ones that I
there's another channel you've been watching recently that we'll talk about next week.
Okay.
Right, because we share things back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
Productivity videos, selling, marketing, things like that. And recently, we've both fallen down a rabbit hole. It's been very interesting.
Yeah,
and in fact, there'll be an immediate tie-in to someone we talked about earlier today. who we've already linked to below, right? But
Yeah.
we'll get to that.
Yeah, so that's a great point. It kind of depends on what is the avenue I'm in. Like, those are my for pleasure videos, things I'm going to be watching at home on my own time. When I'm in the thinking about work mode, I do watch Vanessa Van Edwards. She's the nonverbal communication expert. I watch on occasion.
Captivate.
Yeah, on occasion, I'll watch Gary Vaynerchuk. Very motivating. He did a great series where he was going to yard sales and flipping. I mean, he was just buying things up and flipping them on eBay. Fascinating. He has for a long time had the position that, hey, if you aren't taking full advantage of the internet to do a side hustle, you're stupid, because it has never been easier. And people say, well, that's so easy for you to say from your Manhattan office, whatever. And he has recorded himself going to just yard sales in New Jersey and making thousands of dollars
There's
of
a
profit
name
on
for
a
that.
weekend.
What do they call that?
I don't know. When you do it at yard selling and flipping, I don't know. I know that when you go to businesses
Like
and
retail
sell
stores.
things, it's called retail arbitrage.
That's the one.
That's the people that are going out and buying the millennial edition of Monopoly
Right.
at every single Walmart in their town and selling them all on
Amazon.
Yeah,
they'll
on
sell-
Amazon.
Yeah.
I saw another video. I watched those too. I saw a video of somebody doing that with the everything but the bagel seasoning from
Right.
Trader Joe's. They'll go out and every day buy a carton of these and sell them on Amazon.
You know, they now have that at Lidl.
You know what? Walmart also
Really?
had it the other day.
All right.
Yeah.
Last question.
Okay.
How long do you think you can keep your job given your unprecedented level of incompetence?
That's a good question.
John actually had more questions than that, but that's sort of heading down the path that the remainder of his questions are about.
Right.
John's a little silly.
I can understand where that question stems from because I'm sure John, like many of us, suffers from imposter syndrome. And it just so happens in his case, it's not a syndrome, it's a thing. I'm fortunate enough in my job to be in a pretty nice sweet spot, doing something that I really enjoy and I feel like I'm gifted at. But I also recognize that there are opportunities in my business to expand beyond my current position. And so, when they discover my incompetence, they'll find a place for me.
Okay, good. All right. Well, thank you for sticking around and getting to know my boy. He's one of my favorite people, as you may already know. And it's nice to have you answer those questions, son.
Thanks, Homer.
All right. So we'll link to my video. We'll link to John's video down below. You should post your own video. If you've ever posted any videos within the YTPC, you should do this. Introduce yourself. And I think it's a really neat project. So, all right. That's it for this one. We have one more in us before we break. So next week's episode's about to get filmed. And I think you'll see the tie-in to something we talked about earlier today. So we'll see you next week. Make it a great week.
See you.